What makes you feel good? What floats your boat and makes your steps lighter? What puts a smile on your face without fail and make even your Monday blues disappear? Well, those are the kind of positive ideas we want to focus on because from this point and on, it's good vibes only. On Good Vibes Only, we invite some good people into the studio to talk about good things only. That is, whatever makes us feel happy, whether it's foods, moods, hoods, or goods. And today's good person with the good vibes is YouTuber, author, explorer, and Seoul resident, iGoBart.
Hey!
Well, hello and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming and
Yeah,
joining our
it's great
show.
to be here. Yeah.
Yes. So, could you start by introducing yourself to our global listeners?
Yes, my name is Bart, 32 years old. I am from the Netherlands, and I'm a full-time Korea travel YouTuber.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I've never been to the Netherlands, but it's on my top 1 list. I really want to go.
Please come, it's great.
That's Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, the capital city. I mean, it's so nice that I escaped it and live in Korea now.
It's so beautiful. I only saw the pictures. I want to go there because I translated a book about the Anne Frank's diary.
Oh, did you?
Into Korean, and I also translated a book by Van Gogh.
Yeah. The painter?
The painter.
Yeah.
That's why, and it's all related to Netherlands. So
It is,
I really want to
yeah,
go and
yeah.
see for myself.
You can go to the back room where Anne Frank stayed during the Second World War. Very sad place.
Have you been to the museum? I'm sure you have.
I've been only a couple of years ago for the first time.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, because locals don't really go
Locals
to...
don't really go. It's not, we don't go often to Amsterdam. I know it's a nice city, but...
Locals don't go to the touristy spots.
Exactly.
Yeah, like so many Koreans haven't been to Namsan.
I know. It's so funny to hear that. It's just because I have a Korean wife now, we go to these places because I want to show her the country. But if I didn't met her, then I wouldn't have gone, I think, by now.
So do you travel with your wife often?
Yes, we try to, but we're both really busy, so it's often in Korea.
I see.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice. There's so much to look around in Korea. We're going to talk about that
Definitely.
later.
Yeah.
So let's get straight into business.
Yeah.
So what led you to Korea in the beginning?
Ooh, I was backpacking through South and Southeast Asia in 2017. And the first country where I went to was South Korea. And then after that, I did all the other countries, China, Vietnam, Cambodia, Myanmar. And then at the end of the trip, I was like, I don't want to go back to the Netherlands because then I have to work and do all the boring stuff. Because I was a little bit young and stupid. So I was thinking, which of the countries did I enjoy most? And that was South Korea. So I went back. And that's when I Tindered. I swiped right, and that's how I met my wife. And I never left Korea.
Oh, you met your wife on...
Tinder.
On the app?
On the application, the dating application.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So you're a living proof of that. It works. The application
It can
works.
work. We're a few. I think we're an exception because I don't hear many successful stories, honestly.
Well, my friend met her boyfriend through an app, and she met a really good person. So I think it really depends on the person, right?
Yeah, it really depends on the person.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was your favorite thing about Seoul that made you want to come back?
Honestly, the drinking culture. It was just, I don't know, the soju was new to me, makgeolli was new to me. There was this whole world of drinking etiquette at the table, like pouring with 2 hands. There were a lot of drinking games.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like young, wild and free. And all my friends were out every single day and I joined them. And every night we were spending time in a different restaurant, trying different foods. And it was just endless. There was so much to explore when it comes to food and drinking.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just a perfect match for me.
Yeah, the drinking culture.
Yeah, the drinking culture got me into Korea.
But what about the drinking culture in Netherlands? They drink a lot of beer.
They do drink a lot of beer.
But there's no soju and makgeolli.
Exactly. We don't have the soju. We don't have the... These days we do. So when I came to Korea the first time, people in the Netherlands asked me, which Korea are you going to, North Korea or South Korea?
I know, I got that question so much when I lived in Hong Kong. And then at first I would say, of course, South Korea. And then later on I would joke around saying, North, like whatever.
And they would believe it, right?
Yeah, they would believe it.
Yeah, so much has changed. Everybody knows Korea now. And there are restaurants, Korean restaurants in Amsterdam all over the place.
Yeah.
When I left the Netherlands, there were only 3 restaurants in the entire country that I remember. and now they are everywhere. So I don't have to explain anymore where I'm going to.
Right. Nobody's asking that question anymore.
Nobody's asking it anymore.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
So how did you start your YouTube channel?
Oh, like I said, I at the end of that trip, my backpack trip, I didn't know what to do with my life. So I ended up in Korea. I was just having a good time, drinking soju, drinking makgeolli.
By the way, what's your favorite drink? The favorite alcohol drink in Korea?
Makgeolli.
Oh, it's not soju, it's makgeolli.
Yeah, yeah. Soju is like cheap and easy to get drunk kind of drink. And makgeolli, you really want to sit down and you want to have try the flavor and find different kinds of makgeolli and explore a little bit more.
Yeah.
Soju, you usually stick to the one brand that you like, and that's what you...
Right. Have you tried the chestnut makgeolli?
I did.
In Gongju.
Not in Gongju.
I first tried it in Gongju.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I did try it in a restaurant. Do you like it?
That was good.
Yeah.
I'm not a heavy drinker, but that chestnut makgeolli was quite surprisingly good. Yeah.
I loved it the first time, but then over time I started to appreciate the more regular makgeolli more. I always stick to the more the regular stuff. But these
You're
days,
a true drinker.
People think I'm an alcoholic now. I drink a lot less these days. But before you mix the makgeolli, you have this thicker stuff at the bottom, and the more thinner, winey stuff. I love to drink only the thin stuff.
Oh.
Some makgeollis are so good that you can drink only the thin stuff, and it's really tasty.
Now I'm craving it, but I can't drink any alcohol.
Is it still morning? Oh, it's afternoon now.
Afternoon, yes.
Well, somewhere in the world it's 5 p.m. We always say in the Netherlands, so we can drink any time of the day.
Any time of the day.
Yeah.
So going back to the topic, so your YouTube channel, how did you begin?
So I didn't know what to do with my life, and then I found an advertisement on YouTube telling me that, hey, with YouTube you can also earn money. This could be a new career option for you. And I was like, yeah, maybe instead of a 9-to-5 job, why don't I try YouTube? And I started my YouTube channel exploring all the green urban spaces in the city, the parks and all of that. But it was a bit boring. Nobody really watched those videos, and I was always really nervous to be in front of the camera. So automatically I invited my girlfriend at the time, so we weren't married yet, to be in front of the camera with me, and I was less nervous that way. And automatically we became a Kukje couple channel, international couple channel.
Oh.
So people suddenly started watching us, not because I was going to all these nice parks in the city, but because we were an international couple.
Yeah. That's how you first caught people's attention.
Yes, exactly.
And then it slowly changed and turned into
a travel channel. Yeah, because I didn't like the way I put my private life out there. Because as an international couple, people want to know when you fight, the cultural differences, and then you have to open up about your private life much. And you can easily get the views, yes, but I just didn't want to, because people judge you for who you are.
Yeah.
So I slowly...
I get you.
Yeah, you must understand that, definitely. So I slowly pushed out my my wife out of the channel. She didn't want to be there in the first place because she has her own job. And then I started traveling. I went to North Korea.
Oh, that video was iconic.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later.
Yes.
So, yeah, let's not get ahead of
All
the
right.
story.
So we're going to take a quick song break. And as usual, we're going to listen to some of our guest song picks of the day. And the first song on Bart's playlist is 청춘가, Song of Youth by Xingxing. We just heard 청춘가, Song of Youth by Xingxing. What an interesting song choice.
I know.
Yeah, can you tell us about the song?
Well, I don't know much about this song exactly. I found them in Tiny Desk Concert. That's like a YouTube channel where they invite well-known bands and lesser-known bands. And Xingxing that time when they appeared in that channel, they were well known in Korea in some places, but not in the world.
Not internationally.
Not internationally. Yeah. And that video got over millions of views. Oh. And it's cool because they introduce old style music, Korean music, and they mix it up and they make it interesting for the new crowds.
Yeah, they have a very unique style.
They dress up like a man in some kind of, I don't know, women's costume.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just looking at their videos right now and it's...
So this is where I discovered them. But unfortunately, the songs that they sang in this performance are not published on any of the streaming websites.
Why not?
I don't know. Because I think they disbanded, so they didn't do anything with this anymore.
Maybe. So they're not in a team right now. They disbanded.
Because Korea has like everybody knows K-pop really well, but Korea has a lot of other genres that are so interesting to explore, and this is one of them.
So do you often listen to the fusion 국악 genre?
Yes. I just...
I've never heard of this song, so it's my first time hearing it.
Oh, okay. I'm so happy to introduce this song to you then.
So I saw your playlist for today, and it seems like you have a really diverse taste.
I do.
What kind of songs do you normally listen to, and do you listen to K-pop?
Oh, sometimes. Because I go to the gym twice a week, and they only play K-pop music, so they like indoctrinate me with all the.
So you're forced to listen to K-pop
forced to listen to
music.
K-pop, and in the beginning I was a little bit grumpy about it. It's like, why do I have to listen to K-pop in the gym? You know, I want more boom, boom, boom.
Oh, yeah.
But at some point, suddenly it just happened that I started to like certain songs. I think later on, I'm not sure if you put it in today in the program, but there's one K-pop song that I hear so often in the gym.
And what is it? What is it?
I think it was Ivy. Ive?
Oh,
I don't even know how to pronounce it. Ive. I'm so sorry.
So you're more of a 국악 fusion genre person?
Yes.
More than the recent, latest K-pop?
I try to mix it, but these days I don't know what I'm listening. I'm just listening to the song, put it in my list, streaming list.
And they just play it for you randomly?
Exactly, yeah.
Like the algorithm will just play it for you?
Just play it randomly. Like I came here by car and I was just listening to my playlist and all these random songs came by and it's
That's
like,
good.
Yeah.
It's good that you listen to different types of songs.
I try to be open to everything.
I can see that, yeah. All right, so let's take a look at some comments from our listeners.
Oh, yes, please.
Wahaha says, what's the drinking culture like in the Netherlands? This song goes well with makgeolli.
I know, two completely different lines. Okay, so in the Netherlands, when we cheers, we look each other in the eyes.
Oh, wow, I love this.
If you don't do that, you will have bad sex for 7 years.
Oh, it's like a curse.
It's like a curse. You curse the other person, and people get really frustrated if you don't do it. Right? If you cheers like this, they're
it's
like,
kind of like not being disrespectful when you're not looking at the person.
Yeah, people in the Netherlands, they love beer and wine.
Beer and wine.
Yeah, so we are one of our biggest export products is beer. We have hundreds, maybe thousands of different kinds of beer. We're not making. Well, I don't think we make our own wine. But we love beer and wine. I don't know many people in the Netherlands who don't drink. It's really part of our culture. I think that Korea and the Netherlands have that in common.
Yeah, the drinking culture all over the world is amazing. It's so big and also different. It's a very interesting culture.
It is, definitely is.
Yeah. And Taipei Wern says, I love Netherlands. Had been to Amsterdam and Rotterdam. Love the tulips there too. I like makgeolli too. Drank it with san-nakji, the live octopus. Wriggling thingy.
Yep.
Have you tried? I'm sure you've tried.
I've tried a couple of times.
Did you like it?
And it tastes a little bit like nothing.
Oh,
it's all
just
about
very chewy.
Yes, it's all about the texture
Yeah.
and the gangjang, the soy sauce you dip it in.
With the 참기름 and salt.
Exactly.
So good.
I kind of like it, but you need soju or makgeolli to wash it or flush it away.
Yeah.
I always introduce it to people who travel to Korea for the first time as a fun experience. But if I'm alone or with my Korean friends, we don't usually eat it.
Oh yeah, many people from abroad, they think san-nakji is a big cultural shock.
Yeah.
It comes to them as a cultural shock. It was to me too, even though I'm Korean. I lived in Hong Kong for a long time, so when I first came to Korea, san-nakji was a cultural shock to me.
Yeah.
And I can't eat the big ones, just the tiny ones.
Yeah, they cut it in pieces, but people often think that the octopus is still alive, right?
Yeah.
But it's actually just, it's like the nerves still, I don't know, muscles still putting, I don't know how it works exactly. But I've seen videos online where they put the whole thing in their
Oh
mouth.
no, that can be very dangerous.
Yes.
And I've heard scary stories about
Horror
it.
stories?
Yeah, so I know you're an adventurous child.
No, I don't want to try that.
Don't go too far.
No, that goes way too far.
Your wife is going to be worried about you if you do that.
I think my wife would do it. She's the more adventurous type when it comes to food.
Oh, I see.
She's like every day, she's like, Bart, let's have gopchang and let's have chokbal. And I'm always like, can we do it another time?
Oh.
I do like it once in a while, but
But not all the time.
Not all the time.
Wonderful. And Navy Dog 5184 React says, love the old school funk vibe of the song.
Yes, look them up. They are great.
Xing Xing.
Yes. And there are actually quite a lot of bands, there are like indie bands, right, making that kind of music. It's a whole new world. Once you go down the rabbit hole in that music genre, man, you never come out of it.
So, yeah, you should listen to more Xing Xing songs.
Yes, definitely.
All right, and Huya Kim says, iGoBart, 잘생겼다.
Yeah, and that's my wife.
Well, thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so moving on, back to the topic.
Yeah.
Your visit to North Korea with your father was quite popular.
Oh, yeah.
You even wrote a book about that experience.
Yes.
Right? So how did people respond to those videos and your book?
Ooh, many Koreans in the comment section, they thought that it wasn't possible for people to go to North Korea in the first place. So many of the travel YouTubers who've been to North Korea, they usually speak English or different language and they don't subtitle it in Korean, right? So my videos were the first videos online where everything was subtitled in Korean. So there was a good accessibility for Koreans as well. But yeah, it's also a bit controversial, you know.
Yeah.
People think that you shouldn't go and other people think you should go. Other people thought that you cannot go from South Korea to North Korea because you have the South Korean travel stamp in your passport. But that was possible too. Many Koreans had no clue how North Korea looks from the inside.
Right, same
at this
here.
point. And then suddenly there's this white, tall, bald guy from the Netherlands who lives in South Korea who goes with his dad and shows little glimpses of a part of North Korea. Of course, far from most of the reality, but yeah.
It was nice to see North Korea on your YouTube channel because, like you said, many of us don't get a chance to do that, and we're also quite curious about how they're living and what, you know, their life in North Korea.
Exactly.
So we get to see that through your channel, so that was good.
Yeah, because so the moment I decided to go to North Korea, I was watching another YouTuber, I think he was from New Zealand, and he was sitting in Pyongyang in one of the parks. And these North Korean children came up to him with water pistols.
Children?
Children, yeah, very young. But you know what they were saying to him?
What did they say?
I cannot swear, right?
No.
Miguk se mi ah.
Oh.
Anyway, it was a bad thing to say, but he didn't understand Korean, so he thought that he was having a fun interaction with these children.
I see.
Even though they were saying bad things to him. And it's like, oh, it would have been so nice if someone who could speak at least some Korean would be inside North Korea, because you can ask questions like, what's your hobby? What do you like to eat? Do you like to sing? Things like that. Yeah.
And did you get to do that?
Yeah. And I'm not saying that my Korean was good, but I could say some things and had some small interactions.
I watched that video and I remember you saying that they were actually they were friendlier than you thought.
Yeah.
You thought, because we all think they're going to be really strict.
Yes.
Right? But it was not like that in reality.
Not at all, and especially not the children. But you got to be careful. You shouldn't talk about politics and ask them about the leaders. And don't question their narratives. But other than that, there's a lot of space to interact. But of course, you're in places where most of the loyal people live and the wealthier North Koreans. So whatever you see, it's going to look better than elsewhere in the countryside. Yeah.
Right. And our listener, Wahaha, is asking, what did you like most about North Korea and what was the hardest part?
What did I like most? Oh, I did like the music.
The music?
Music was so traditional.
Kind of like Xing Xing?
Kind of like Xing Xing, but then way more traditional. And I didn't thought I would be appealed or attracted by some of the songs, but I was.
Ooh.
Like one of the songs was Bangapsamnida. Do you know that? Like, Bangapsamnida. And they played it over and over again. And at some point I was just, okay, this is actually quite catchy.
It's a good song.
It's a good song, yeah. But it's like going to South Korea in the 60s. Oh. You're stepping into a time capsule. Not much is developed. So you see farmers with oxes, with an ox walking around. You see farmers with these geese, like followed by a parade of ducks.
Wow.
Yeah, everything is just years behind of South Korea.
Must have been like time traveling.
It was a big time travel. Yeah.
How about the food? What was it like?
I think food isn't too bad. It's very much Korean still, but all a little bit more bland. Every South Korean...
like 평양냉면.
Like 평양냉면.
Everything's just more...
I did like the 평양냉면.
Me too.
I'm a bland guy. I like bland food.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because also one of my favorite foods is kongguksu, for example.
Oh, yeah.
And it's quite a normal dish, I did say. It's like, it wouldn't shock you with like extreme flavors. Like I like bean dishes a lot.
I see.
Yeah, so it wasn't too bad. Food was all right in North Korea.
All right. So how did people respond to your book?
The people who read it,
Yeah.
they really loved it. I think I only have like 5-star reviews on the internet. So thank you so much. Because I was a little bit worried, because in the videos I was so careful in the way I tell a story and show North Korea without being like too controversial or saying something wrong. But in the book I could be more honest about my true experience, my relationship with my dad. Because the reason why I did this trip was I wanted to travel just one more time with my dad before he gets like older and we cannot do this together anymore. Because right before we went on this trip, one of my uncles, he passed away. And he was younger than my dad. Okay. So it suddenly just put things in perspective. It's like, okay, my dad, who always loved, he was a history teacher.
Wow.
He traveled to the east of Europe during the Cold War, like Soviet Union, East Berlin. And it's like, yeah, North Korea is a similar kind of trip, so let's do it together. Let's create this memory.
Wow.
And I talk about that in my book.
Wow. So it must have been more memorable because you traveled with your dad.
Definitely, yeah. And in the videos, you don't see my dad too often because I didn't want to film him too much because of the controversy. It's like, okay, I will take that, not my dad. Yeah.
And you also uploaded videos meeting with Korean War veterans and sharing their stories.
Oh, yes.
So what drew you to that topic?
When I was young, my hometown is a small village. I often had dinner at my best friend's grandfather. He lived in the same street. And he was always talking about how he fought in a war in a faraway country, which was called Korea.
Wow.
And I was young and I was like, what the hell is this man talking about? You know, like I didn't care about war, I didn't care about history. And I didn't know about Korea.
Right.
So I was just respectfully listening and eating his food. And then years later, when I moved to Korea, I suddenly remembered that, hey, my friend's grandfather was always talking about the Korean War. And he won a bronze medal. He had these really terrible fights with the Chinese army and the North Koreans. And suddenly just remembered that. So I wanted to talk to him and maybe invite him to an interview on my channel. But he passed away.
Oh.
So I couldn't. And then I realized, okay, it's important. Dutch veterans, there are not many of them still alive. They're getting older by the day. Maybe it's time to shine a light on them and listen to their stories. So that was like the moment I came up with these ideas to find them. Because right now we have maybe 60 still alive. Not many at all. And unlike American veterans, when the Dutch veterans came back to the Netherlands, nobody said thank you. They didn't appreciate their efforts. So they felt lonely, isolated. So for years they couldn't talk about their experiences because nobody understood, nobody wanted to listen, nobody knew about Korea. They knew about the Vietnam War later or the Second World War, but not Korea. And now finally, also in Korea, you see a lot of effort in, expressing appreciation to veterans all over the world, but also Korean veterans. And I just like to contribute my part. Be the bridge between the Dutch veterans and Korea. Yeah,
so that's very sweet of you.
Yeah, that's the story.
To come up with the topic.
Yeah.
Like that.
But the reason why it's not the main topic on my YouTube channel, because I don't want to monetize it. I don't want to make money over the backs of their story. I don't want to exploit their traumatic stories to earn money as a YouTuber. So that's like, how do you say, the charity part on my channel, and I do all the other things to earn money. But whatever I do with the veterans is just my personal effort.
Well, thank you for that.
No,
That's
don't need to
wonderful.
say thank you. I also think it's just important to do.
Right. Well, it's time for another song break, and the next songs off of Bart's playlist for the day are When We Disco by Park Jin-young and Sunmi, as well as It Goes Like Na 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 by Peggy Goo. We just heard Peggy. It's okay. We just heard Peggy Goo and her song, and it goes like na na na. And before that, it was Park Jin-young and Sunmi with their song When We Disco. Two very upbeat and fun songs.
Yes.
It was my first time watching the music video of When We Disco, and
It's really fun,
It's
huh?
really funny.
Yeah.
Right, let's take a look at some comments. Huya Kim, your wife, says, let's have san-nakji tonight.
Nope.
Not today.
If you pay. No. Well, okay.
Sounds
sure.
good.
Yeah, sounds
san-nakji.
good.
With maybe some makgeolli or soju.
Yeah.
And Taipei Warren says, I heard the soju in North Korea tastes very clean. Is it true?
Yeah, that is true.
Oh.
Yeah, I tried was it I forgot the name. Pyeongyangju. I think that was the name of the soju. I mean, I think I can say this brand right because it's nowhere available. But it was great. But available in big bottles. So I was like drinking from a 2-liter bottle, I believe, or 1.5 liter. Pure soju. But I liked it. Was it a Pyeongyangju? I think it was with the blue label. Oh no, that one. Yeah. The gray white bottle.
So it tasted very clean.
It did taste clean. Yeah, I must say that the liquor in North Korea was pretty good. Like the beer and the soju.
That's nice.
Yeah.
All right, and if you're just tuning in, I'm joined by YouTuber and Korea expert iGoBart for this week's Good Vibes Only. So you've been uploading a series of videos exploring the 467 dongs in Seoul.
I know, yeah.
Titled Welcome to My Dong. So how has that experience been so far?
It's been great. 467 is a lot of neighborhoods.
Oh, yeah.
So if I upload one video every week, I will be busy for the coming 5-6 years. I've done 84 neighborhoods now.
Wow.
Explored, and every time I go into a neighborhood, I dive into the history, the culture, the food. I'm trying to dig up stories that are not known by people, talk to locals. It's been really fun. I've been, I'm learning so much about the city because everyone knows like famous landmarks like Gyeongbokgung, Namsan Tower, Lotte Tower, or neighborhoods like Hongdae, Itaewon, Gangnam. But I'm filling in all these empty spots that we don't know about the city yet, and it's so fun to do.
Right, because not everybody knows about the history of each district, right?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
So even though we're living there, we don't know much about the place, right?
I get those comments a lot from Koreans, like, oh, even I'm Korean, I don't know about this.
Yeah, so it's good that we get to learn through your channel.
Yes.
That's good.
But I'm in no way an expert. I'm just a boy who's really curious about this, about history and all of that. So I'm like...
That's what makes it more fun.
You think so?
I think so, because when experts come and talk, it becomes a little too professional and difficult. But it's like a friend telling it through your channel.
Yeah.
It's like a friend explaining it to me, so it makes it easier and more friendly.
Yeah,
it feels more friendly.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be like Conde or like, I'm the expert here. Like, I'm just usually throughout my videos, I'm learning about it. Or right before I go exploring, I just did a quick neighbor Namu wiki search, and then, or I talk to experts. I have a lot of Waguin friends, but also Korean friends who know a lot about things you wonder, how did you get interested in that? Like, there are people who know only about the traditional hanoks and everything. They know so much that they can even build it themselves. There are people who know everything about colonial history or everything about the Korean War. So
I should start watching each of your videos to learn more about the history of Korea.
Yeah,
in a fun way.
In a fun way.
In an entertaining way.
Yeah, at some point, because at some point my videos, they start to connect with each other. So things that I learn in this neighborhood suddenly connects with something in that neighborhood. And that's so interesting to me.
So you've been to 87 dongs so far?
84.
84.
Yeah.
So far, what's your favorite dong?
Ooh, it changes all the time. I think it's Huamdong at the moment.
Huamdong.
So Huamdong is located in Yongsan next to Haebangcheon. Maybe people close to Itaewon. Maybe people know that. And it's a neighborhood where you have the perfect balance between, I'd say, old and new.
A good mixture of old and new.
A good mixture of old and new,
like
definitely.
That.
So you see like a little bit of gentrification, but not too much yet.
Oh,
like that.
I love that.
It's not so developed yet. So you have all the old houses from the 50s all the way to now. So you see all these layers of history are still visible. There are young people, but there are also old people mixing really well together. They all mingling. You see it on the street. They all just mind their own business, but they love being in the same space. And why I like that so much, because I've been to many neighborhoods already, and there's often a huge division between this old and new generation.
Yeah.
It's either only for the young people or only for the old people.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. So,
But in Huamdong, it's a good mixture of both.
It's
of
definitely
old generation and the new generation.
100%.
Wow.
And you have the traditional market, you have like nice jazz bars, a good old traditional Nopo restaurants, or family businesses who run their like one dish food business for 40 years, and you know it's
Wow.
good.
That's what makes it more attractive.
It definitely
the place.
does, yeah. And a great scenery, because you have Nansan Tower view,
Beautiful.
and you can climb up the mountain, and you have the view over the city, so you have both.
So has there been any particularly memorable neighborhoods that you visited where you learned something unexpected?
So many. I don't even know where to start. I think every neighborhood video that I made had one of these stories. A recent one that I really loved was in Ogindong. So this is a neighborhood I filmed, but I didn't upload it yet on my YouTube channel.
Oh, it's coming soon?
It's coming pretty soon. So you have two of these weird standing pillars in the road, and they are not connected to anything. So I wondered what it was. I Googled it, and I found out that they used to belong to a huge mansion. A really big villa mansion that was, I think, the biggest when it was still standing. So it's now, it disappeared. That house belonged to Korea's biggest trader. He pretty much gave Korea away to the Japanese. And for that, he received a lot of money.
Oh my goodness.
And with that money, he built that mansion.
Wow.
And that mansion is gone because it burned down in '66.
Oh, wow.
But
wow.
here and there in the neighborhood, you still see the remains. Like those two pillars are part of that mansion. And it's just, you know, there's this story hidden in the I like finding these stories that many people
It's like
don't know.
finding the hidden gems.
Hidden gem. It could be controversial, but they are part of Korea's story, right? Like the way Korea became the Korea that we know today. All these stories are part of the bigger story. And I try to make the puzzle complete and understanding Korea better, because so many people come to Seoul or Korea, and they came because they love the three main Ks. That's how I call it, like K-food, K-pop, K-dramas, K-movies.
Culture.
The culture. That's all surface level.
Yeah.
But then there's so much underneath the water, the hidden iceberg that is ready to be explored. And I don't expect anyone to go that deep, because it's a lot of effort you need to put into it. So I'm doing that for the people.
Oh, and thank you for doing that for us.
It's quite fun. But there's also a Majangdong, where you have, I believe it's the country's biggest meat market.
Meat market.
Yes.
Oh,
Have you been there?
Is it near Hueide Station?
I believe
Huegi Station.
so. I believe so. I actually, you may know
Yeah, I
that
used
better
to
than
live
me.
around there. Yeah, I think it's that. The meat. Oh, I've been there once.
Yeah,
Once, like twice.
it is
Yeah.
called the scariest market of Korea.
Why? I didn't know
Because you see all these carcasses, like dead animal bodies being butchered, being prepared to be sold, right? You see the organs in buckets of water on the street. And if you go to a regular market in Korea, you may find that too, but not on this scale.
I see.
And what I found so interesting is there's an urban legend about this market. So in Korea, the mafia, according to the legend, the story, is that it's pretty much present everywhere in the country, except for this market. And the reason is that the butchers, they have bigger and sharper knives
So
than the
they're
Korean
scarier.
mafia. So they're scared to go to this market.
That's a interesting story.
Yeah,
That's
so
funny.
the butchers run this neighborhood.
Oh.
Oh, you know what I found there?
Wait.
Cow brains.
Cow brains?
Yes. And Najuma was selling cow brains.
I've never heard of anything like that. Oh.
Me neither, until I saw them there, and I asked, it's like, who is buying who's eating them?
Yeah.
And you know what she told me? She said the haenyeo from Jeju.
Really?
Yeah, those female divers who
Didn't know that.
dive meters deep to pick up like delicious seafood from the sea bottom. Apparently, they sometimes order these cow brains. They fry them, and with some soy sauce, and they eat them.
They eat them. Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty shocking.
It is. Yes, and it's not tasty either. I've tried it.
You tried it.
Yep.
Wow.
Never again.
So how do you find special stories of the neighborhoods that you visit? How do you study them?
Or NamoWiki.
Online. Online is our best friend.
Online is our best friend, but it's unfortunate that there isn't much information in English. Most of the information is still in Korean.
Right.
So for foreigners, non-Koreans, it's really hard to find information like this. So you have to sometimes go search it in Korean. But also if you do a general search, let's say Hongdae, you find, like you type in Hongdae, you won't find that much interesting information. The very general stuff.
Right. You normally get the general informations.
Exactly.
In English.
In English. And then if you want to go deeper, you need to find or search a specific building. And then suddenly a whole new story pops up that you wouldn't have found with just a general search, Hongdae.
Oh.
So you have to dig. But if you're curious, and this is what I've learned, if you're curious enough, then information comes to you automatically. People know me now as the Dongman.
The Dongman.
The Dongman. So everyone with an interesting story about his or her neighborhood comes to me. Like they jump into my Instagram DM, say, Bart, hey, come to my neighborhood because of this, this, and this.
Oh.
Or I ask my community on YouTube. He's like, hey, I'm going to Muledong soon. Give me all the information you have.
I see.
And I will make a story out of that.
So you sometimes get information from the locals.
Yes. Yeah, I
That's the
cannot
best
do it
way.
without the Koreans. They always know better eventually.
So we're filming in Yooido, right?
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to
I
look
did.
around Yooido? Can you tell us about this area?
Oh, yes. I love Yooido because it's the biggest island on the Han River, right? Yooido. Most people don't even know it's an island. But if you look at the map, you see this little stream going around it, right?
Yeah.
It used to be, long ago, a farm field. And then during colonial times, it was an airport. So
and Yooido was
an airport. So the Yooido Park used to be this airstrip. Planes landed, some international guests, they landed on Yooido. I think you can see it here on the photos. Yes. And then I forgot the exact details, but later when Park Chung-hee became president, he changed it into the May something square. The moment when he did the coup. And it was a square where military parades happened.
Wow.
And then during that time, they built a bunker underneath, the asphalt.
Ooh.
So if you go to Yooido Park, you can go to the bunker still. It's still there.
Still there.
They found it recently, like a couple of years ago. And there's no official documents about it. Nobody knew when exactly it was built, by who and everything.
Wow.
So that I like. And then if you look at Yooido on the left side, from the other side of the river, you see all these high skyscrapers, the financial district.
Oh, yeah.
And on the other side, everything is low
Yeah.
because of the building height restrictions from the National Assembly.
Oh.
Buildings on that side of the park are not allowed to be built higher. Yeah, like that.
Right, because of the National Assembly.
Yeah,
Wow, I'm learning so much today
very historical.
about Seoul.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But because everyone comes to Yooido, right? It's such a fun place because at the Han River, it's a dating paradise.
And now they have big malls here.
Yeah, right.
And even on the during the cherry blossom seasons, everybody gathers around
it's so
here.
crowded.
Yeah.
It's so crowded that I don't recommend people anymore to come to Yooido.
Me too. Same here.
There are a lot of better places for the cherry blossom.
Where? Now people are going to gather
Well,
up
now
there.
they're curious. My favorite one is in Sangsu,
Sangsu.
near Hapcheong. It's hard maybe to explain, but there's the big power plant, like the big factory next to Han River. And if you walk from there to the Hongdae Main Street, there's a beautiful cherry blossom road.
So it's not too far from Yooido.
It's not too far. You can actually see Yooido from that side. So you can no. There are no people here.
That's good.
But yeah, chicken beer. There's the balloon these days. Did you see it?
No, I mean, I saw it online. I didn't get to see it.
Okay, there's like a little balloon in the park going up. And also here you can see it on the photo.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I saw it.
You can take a ride. And you can do it at night as well. Apparently it's one of the best night views.
I thought you were talking about the balloons from North Korea.
Oh, no.
Maybe I got too into the news.
Yeah, that's been a big thing, right?
Oh,
The
yeah.
balloons from North Korea.
Oh, yes.
Filled with poop and trash and... No, this is a friendly balloon.
A friendly balloon.
Filled with tourists.
Yes, that's a nice one.
I would like to try it, yeah.
So what do you think is the beauty of Seoul?
I think... So the beauty of Seoul is also what I respect about Korea in general. If you look... we talked about this earlier when I came in 2017. People didn't know Korea in the Netherlands. Many didn't. Now everyone knows Korea. Korea over the last 100 to 150 years has changed so much. If you think about it, it's so incredible how it went from Joseon Dynasty, Korean Empire, colonial times, Korean War, then this period of democratization, all these different leaders, one loved more than the other. Then they started hosting big events like the Asian Games, the '88 Olympics, 2002 World Cup, Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang 2018.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was the financial crisis in the 90s when Korea, a lot of companies went bankrupt. People didn't have jobs. IMF. I was born then. And you know, and then it's my wife's parents' generation who've been through that, and they didn't have money from what I remember from their stories. And then only 2 decades later, suddenly it's like
It's
a country that's so well
drastically.
known. They make amazing cars. They are beautiful. I remember people in the Netherlands saying, "I don't want to drive a Hyundai," like 20 years ago. Now my friends are like, "Bart, I really want to drive this car, that car, produced in Korea."
Now people are really
into it, like the Korean wave hit really hard. But then you come to Korea and you realize, yes, this country has become fantastic, like a fantastic country.
Yeah.
So this whole transformation, all these layers are still visible in the city today. Like the sad layers, the good layers, the Joseon layers, the Korean War, everything is visible. While at the same time, this city has become like...
I agree with you.
Like an urban paradise, in my opinion.
Right. Like we mentioned earlier about Huamdong, like the old generation and new generation exist in one place. It's kind of like that. We have all of it come together.
Definitely, you have all of it come together.
Yeah. All right, so Bart and I will be right back after one more song break. Let's listen to Broccoli 너마저 and their song 이웃의 방해가 되지 않는 선에서 Dancing in the Moonlight, followed by IVE with Off the Record. We just heard Off the Record by IVE, and before that it was Broccoli 너마저 and their song 이웃의 방해가 되지 않는 선에서 Dancing in the Moonlight. What a long title.
Yes, it is.
So it's almost time to say goodbye already, but before I let you go, there's still a lot of neighborhoods to explore. But once you visit and upload all 467 of them, what's next for you?
Oh, I want to write a book about my experiences and all the stories that I've learned in all these neighborhoods. That's it.
Ooh, a new book coming out.
A done book, right.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing your good vibes with us today. We're going to say goodbye to Bart and close the show with B1A4 and their song Seoul. So thank you for tuning in. This has been Hyerim with producers Hong Seoryong and Kwon Tae-ryong and writer Liz. Have a wonderful day and we'll see you tomorrow. And thank you.
Thank you too. Bye.
Baby, you